Scott with SJWellFire.com. Final Days Report, episode 356. Hey, it's been a while since I've done a VCast after Final Days Report, episode 354. Computer hacked, website, couldn't get in it. So check out 354 and 355. Go to SJWellFire.com and search those two different podcasts because I want to really talk a little bit further about Trump. Just interesting. His ear looks healed after a couple weeks after the so-called assassination attempt. Viral videos, I'm not going to play it, you can do your own search, of his speech saying blood was all over his hand, yet the video tells a different story. And just recently, I'm going to play the video of Trump telling Christians to vote for him. But I'm not a Christian, he goes on to say. It's very, very clear. I am not a Christian. This is the last time you're going to have to vote. The fix is in. Words have meaning. He loves to do the snake parable all the time. He's an actor, folks. This is big time wrestling. He's playing a script. And again, this is a Watchman End of Days news ministry. I had a dream that Trump was getting directions along with Macron and all these Western leaders of a script, a movie script by Lucifer. I'm not buying any of this, my friends. You need to think about it. If Trump just said, I'm not a Christian, and he's selling Bibles, he's mocking you. And we know Trump signed the Noahide laws. If you don't know the Noahide laws, it says if you worship Jesus Christ, when you look at the sub-laws, it's off with your head because it's considered idol worship. And if you're a homosexual, it's off with your head too. But let's listen. Tell me what you think in the comments. I'm just saying, appears to me he's bringing in false light.
Could this be America's last election if Donald Trump wins? Listen to what the former president told a Christian group at the Turning Point USA Believers Summit in West Palm Beach. The former president telling the crowd that if they re-elect him to the White House, they won't have to worry about voting ever again.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm not Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Now, the next story I want to cover, which I just found creepy beyond belief. Not everyone that is homeless is on drugs or has mental illness. Some people just ran into bad luck and, maybe got a divorce, couldn't make child support payments, or we've covered how in Chicago they increased taxes by 100%. Somebody had taxes of $10,000, all of a sudden get a tax bill of $20,000, couldn't afford it. They're jacking up electric bills in California and other states that people can't afford, but yet you have to have electricity in some of these different counties and cities. You can't live off grid. They're making home ownership impossible. Own nothing and like it. But the next story I found just fascinating because Trump did say that he's going to clean up the homelessness and put them in camps to re-educate them. Those are my words. But he's going to basically get the homeless off the streets. What happens when you don't want to take the mark of the beast? And I don't think you're going to be raptured out of here. I'm a post-trib rapture person. We've done studies on that. Right? Matthew 24, after the tribulation, sun and moon shall be darkened, then the rapture occurs. 2 Thessalonians says you'll see the Antichrist. And we did a study, how to read the book of Revelation. Search that on SJWellFire.com. But Trump said he's going to basically round up the homeless. But what, again, if you don't want to take the mark of the beast? I've had many dreams of Christians just living in abandoned cars, living in fields, living in the woods, for what I think will be the last 3.5 years of what the book of Revelation says when the Antichrist will rule and reign. Let's read. In a significant ruling, the U.S. Supreme Court recently allowed cities to ban homeless encampments. The decision overturns a lower court's ruling that enforcing camping bans when shelter is lacking constitutes cruel and unusual punishment. The 6-3 decision acknowledges that people without homes can be arrested and fined for sleeping in public spaces. However, dissenting justices argue that such laws essentially criminalize the act of sleeping, which they consider a biological necessity rather than a crime. There are rulings going after you sleeping out in the woods. That's where this whole thing is headed, my friends. So we have Trump, persecuted in all those different sham trials, comes out a winner, gets a bunch of money raised, survives an assassination attempt, clear leader, right? He did many good things when he was in office, like energy independence. Those are some of the good things. Tax cuts, economy was booming. And then we have the vice president running, which can't even complete a sentence. She just cackles. She's a clown, in my humble opinion. And just like in Venezuela, where if you follow that story, 70% of people in all of the different polling and exit polls said the majority of people wanted the right-wing candidate. And so now they're rioting. It's a playbook. They want to destabilize us, to bring in ID 2020, to bring in normalcy, order out of chaos, my friends. But I thought this was an interesting old article from the Gateway Pundit. Creepy Bill Gates makes ominous prediction. We're going to have a hung election and a civil war. Misinformation may bring it all to an end. So they just happened to launch AI and deep fakes and all this creepy technology that really, sometimes you need to go look into cartoons for predictive programming, because they launched deep fakes. They launched this artificial intelligence, AI writing stories, chat bots, news stories, this beast system. So they launch it to create chaos so nobody knows what's real, as another means to bring in ID 2020 and this Mark of the Beast system. This cartoon plays it for the predictive programming because it's part of their black magic. They have to reveal what they're going to do so the evil doesn't fall back on their head. And I just bind all their wicked plans in the name of Jesus Christ. And we've talked about how quantum computers can crack existing encryption technology, right? All of this is going to somehow be tied to your DNA. That's why that poison poke had all the nanotech in it, this black goo in you. The good book says that this fourth beast system will be iron mixed with clay, or I like to say graphene oxide mixed in you. The seeds of men will not cleave. It's a genetic seed war. So let's play this cartoon. After this, I'm going to play a video from Trump where he kind of slips the tongue. He's like, when they're talking about the poke, he's like, we're going to launch this weapon. He didn't say weapon completely, but he was going to say weapon. You be the judge. What do you say in the comments?
Out in the 90s, okay? So AI wasn't around that time.
Fun playing with the new AI toys.
Well, yeah, I am. You can make pictures of cute anime girls and
Enjoy it while it lasts, Ryman.
What do you mean?
Did you really think that civilians would be granted unrestricted access to such powerful military weapons forever?
Military weapons. Are you implying that this technology was created by the government?
Of course it was. This AI technology has been used by the intelligence agencies to warp the public's perception of reality for years. All in the name of national security, of course.
But why would they suddenly make the tech public and let everyone start using it?
Why would we indeed, Ryman?
What? Who? What in the hell are you?
Your question is irrelevant. By creating a new problem, we can cultivate a desired reaction to it in order to manufacture consent for our preferred solutions. In short, it's justification for a war.
A war? On who or what?
A war on misinformation. By arming the public with these AI weapons, everyone becomes a potential enemy combatant. Then we will have justification for unprecedented security measures. It all comes down to confusion and identity, Ryman.
Identity?
Identity. This AI technology is Pandora's box. Pretty soon the internet will be mired in total illusion. Perfect AI speech, audio, and video synthesis will drown out reality. Then AI bots will flood social media. No one will...
Are you overpromising when you say you're going to have 300 million doses of vaccine?
No, I'm not overpromising. I don't know who said it, but whatever the maximum is, whatever you can humanly do, we're going to have. And we hope we're going to come up with a good vaccine. and we hope we're going to come up with a good vaccine.
I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines.
It's incredibly well, 95%, maybe even more than that. It works incredibly well, and I would recommend it to a lot of people that don't want to get it, and a lot of those people voted for me, frankly.
Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so...
No.
All right. The good book says in the end of days, it'll be as the days of Noah with the seed war. And I just thought this was fascinating, an article from Harvard, because they need to prime us with the space and aliens. Ultimately, they're just fallen angels. But let's read from Harvard. And people respect Harvard, right? A thought-provoking paper, Harvard scientists propose the existence of crypto-terrestrials, which could explain unusual UFO sightings. These crypto-terrestrials might be concealed underground, on the moon, or even integrated into human society. The study explores various forms of crypto-terrestrials and calls for open-minded consideration despite skepticism. Right? It's about science. Well, science says, folks, you want truth, get into the Bible. The other thing, too, that I just thought was interesting, even my atheist friends thought the Olympic ceremony was creepy and how they're mocking the Last Supper with all the just Sodom and Gomorrah imagery. And you just have to ask the question, if you're not a Christian, why aren't they mocking Muhammad or Buddha? Why do they just mock Christ? Because that's the only religion that's real. That's why.
We have proof that the Red Sea crossing happened. Like proof, not just artifacts on the bottom. We had those. We had chariot wheels on the bottom of the Red Sea. We had all these cool little artifacts. But the coolest thing that I saw is the shoreline. If you've ever watched the Ten Commandments movie, they had that big pillar of fire that came down. That's mentioned in the Bible. This pillar of fire, I just pictured these flames coming down. But when you go to that shoreline where it's documented to happen, the entire shoreline is melted sand. And it takes about 3,000 degrees or more to melt that sand. And it's evenly melted. You can almost see like footprints. There's stones infused in this melted sand. This is amazing. You don't hear about it. If it was a proof of evolution, it would be in every single textbook. But it's a proof that there was an exodus, like we're having today. You're talking about the exodus, people leaving the cities. It's
the scripture I want to end with: blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of the Lord. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways. Thou hast commanded us to keep his precepts diligently. When you fall, you repent. Oh, that my ways are directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments. Psalm 119, 1-6. Have a blessed day. Thank you for those supporting this ministry. We actually ran into some bumps with that computer hack, but hope to be up and running in the next 3 to 4 days. And have a blessed day.